Hey everyone, and welcome back to Jaraci Cup 2. Going to continue coverage now of the lower brackets and move into this game between NoFun and Coercer. Got my handy little TXT document here, so I'll just go ahead and read it. NoFun actually picks faction as random first, which is really interesting. And I noticed he's actually the higher seeding number, which is quite interesting as well. Coercer apparently coming out in seed 2, and NoFun is in seed 6. So that does give Coercer somewhat of an advantage, in that he is able to pick 2 of the maps. Opponent gonna pick random though. He picks Galzian for the series, bans Tight End Passage, NoFun bans the Shallows, and then NoFun will pick this first map, the Boneyard. We also have Torn Crater and Firebase Crow coming out for Coercer. Nice colors. Good context. So he had just heard about like the Homeworld 3 announcement, the announcement of an announcement, and so he was like, yeah, nice. Welcome to the stream, by the way, NoFun. Ich hoffe, es ist für dich nicht peinlich, ne? Nein. I would never say anything bad about you. Actually, NoFun, one of the players who I'm really always excited to watch because I feel like he's really getting better with time. And his play is just always very logical, you know what I mean? So, na, logisch denken mal. Mal logisch denken. What's happening to my German? I feel like the more I speak it, the worse I get at it. So it looks like some LAV spam as an opener right here. This is typically pretty good against 2PC, especially in vanilla. I'm not sure how it stacks up in Jaraci patch, but yeah, if only we could get Garmulator playing Jaraci, then we would know very well, I'm sure. But it looks like from Coercer it's going to be some 1PC assault ship stuff going on here. Fairly early timing on that, 28:30, but you can get it much faster if you choose to optimize it. And NoFun being coalition here, and his opponent doesn't know it just yet, although he's about to find out. That information will be given to him now, as the scanner will find that location, or find those LAVs coming through that location there. He is going to send his base runner down toward his opponent's second and set up a turret there, and this could be pretty bad for Coercer. You can see the potential for pressure here already, because the LAV is going to come in, you know, forces some like mid-tier units out of Coercer, like assault ships, which he's got coming. Oh, he already killed your probe. Oh, yeah, that's true, that's true. I forgot that. Yeah, why'd you let him kill your probe, dude? What a noob. But yeah, the turret getting set down here is going to be problems for Coercer. The only problem is it's actually getting put in the wrong place. You can't ever see it on the Boneyard, but there's actually a hill here. And so you're kind of like losing line of sight with that turret. If you can force your opponent out and set the turret down right here, that's going to be like, you know, beautiful. Still though, this turret does represent quite a significant amount of pressure on his opponent, and he's immediately going to attack to AV fab, so he's not even going for support cruiser follow-up here. He's out for blood. This could get pretty brutal, so viewer discretion is advised. Uh-oh, it doesn't want to make this dive though into that assault ship there. He really wants to get that salvager, but he can do that from a bit more range. But yeah, this is where having the turret up on this hill right here would be really helpful, because then this assault ship can't even push you. Still though, it's going to be hard for Coercer to get back onto his second base. LAV should retreat entirely though, they should stay out there. You do actually have the range on this assault ship, but more importantly, you know, you can stick around and make this guy, you know, have to stay around his base and not push out until he like really definitively gets a count of these LAVs and you have to leave. Rail fab on the way now for NoFun. Again, pretty early timing, and he's already got AAVs coming out onto the field. Carrier production upgrade coming out now. I wouldn't actually do that from one base. I feel like he can't use it necessarily. But one advantage to this strategy that he's running is you can see he hasn't had to put down any logistics modules at all, because he's never actually had that many units on the field. Yeah, so this is why, like, if the LAVs were still here... Ah, good. Okay. That makes me happy to hear, because you know they're very hard to hold in vanilla. You have to be, like, god level. Anyway, yeah, if the LAVs were still here, like, that turret wouldn't necessarily be dead yet. It would still be a little bit tricky to get it. And especially if the turret had gotten set up on this hill here. So, I hope NoFun is taking notes. Hört zu und macht Notizen. Because that actually is, like, the beginnings of some very good coalition aggression there, but just lacking a little bit. Interceptor Fabrication on the queue now for Coercer, as well as Refinery Mode, so NoFun is going to start falling behind if he doesn't get some damage in here, or at least expand onto his second base. Rift Mode is actually done, so yeah, Coercer on 2 base right now with Interceptor Fabrication on the queue. He's definitely, I think, kind of in the more dynamic position here, because we haven't really seen any... Yeah, I would agree again, because you know, first off, the carrier production upgrade is definitely a mistake, but second, unless these units are like at your opponent's base, you really don't need many of them, let alone like a diversity of them. So, but yeah, Sport Cruiser is on the way, so that's good. And I really think, yeah, NoFun should have just not stepped off the gas there. He should have just kept up the attack, and he probably would be holding his opponent off of 2 base at this moment as well. And then, you know, you can get tech off of 1 base like that and move on to, like, a really impressive style where you try and, like, fight your opponent's rails, too. And then get a support cruiser and drive your carrier out there and all kinds of stuff, but... yeah, that's kind of, like, hyper-aggressive. That's, like, Sparrow-level coalition play. I like seeing it, but we don't often see that. Support cruiser coming out now. NoFun going to be moving up onto 2 base, but he still doesn't have any anti-air, so... that could be a problem for him, and you could just see the Sport Cruiser just like insta-die, you know what I mean? But we don't actually have any interceptors getting produced here for Coercer, despite having the money for it. I wonder if he's fleet capped. Oh, I guess he was saving up for a siege? I don't know. I think if you're gonna get interceptor tech, and especially if you're gonna tech afterburner, you ought to get the planes before you start looking onto other tech choices. Although it is always nice to see Siege, you know, make an appearance in these games here. NoFun gets the information. Actually, he saw the air platforms there, and actually, because he's in chat, I'd just like to ask him, like, did you know it was there? If you remember this game. Yeah, I agree. Well, I think it just needs to have the same indirect fire as the Coalition one, and it should be fine already. That's my opinion, but I don't know. I think, like, the cost is still probably good. It's a little bit prohibitive, but it should be. This is, like, definitely a late game tech, you know? Well, you're right, actually. On this map, it's very dark. You can see that, right? But if you zoom in on it, you should be able to see. Especially, there's, like, these little green dots. They fade out if you're far away, but if you zoom in, you know, you see them there. So, that's one good way to scout the Siege. Yeah, you're right, Shrike, it can't self-heal, but it's usually sticking around with the carrier at that stage of the game, so that generally isn't really impactful. And so if your opponent is doing that and you have your Galician Siege, which can't get external healing, so it has to rely on the self-heal, that actually turns out to be sort of like a... rather than a benefit, it turns out to be actually kind of a burden, because you can't ever get the things healed properly. Second Sport Cruise is on the way for NoFun, we still don't have any anti-air, so... Yeah, well, you heretics can just, you know... get killed by Sajuk or whatever. I'm rooting for the Galician all day long, buddy. Oh yeah. I know a thing or two about Zeal. But we do have some ints finally coming out on the queue now for Coercer, so that's gonna be good. He can do some serious damage to this base here. Say he gets like 5 of them, I think, is all you would need, and you can kill off a Sport Cruiser, you know what I mean? And if there's no anti-air, like, boom, you're golden. If there is, you come in there, you know, you see he's got anti-air, like, okay, well, I can still kill all of your railguns that are out in the middle. And if he's got missile batteries, he can just kind of avoid them and whatever. So yeah, this should be pretty good. He's going to launch them actually with 4 out now. I think he's going to launch against the rails here, which I don't really like terribly much. I hate on Coalition all day, every day, game. You'll never fix me. It's because I played too many games versus Garm, I think. It's interesting, I think of Garm as one of the best Coalition players, but I would actually rather play Coalition against him than Galician. Like, I feel like I'm better in the CVC against him. It's weird. I mean, same with Descara, but that's... No, I mean, that's not true. I'd rather do GVC against Descara, but I know if he's going to play Galician, I'm, like, done for, so I don't want to run into that matchup. By the way, I was counting up, you know, how many players we have in, like, the top tier, if you will, of DOK, right? Think about it. So we have one, like, A-Game8, Sparrow, Bozocow, Descara, Catharsis, Tomcat, Shrike, NoFun. That's 8 players, right? And you know the upper bracket is typically 8 people, yeah? I mean, think about it. You could actually have an upper bracket that was just those people if we could just get them all to play in like the same tournament. You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be sick? Oh man, that would just be awesome. Missile batteries are actually on the way, so yeah, like because the air was revealed against like just the AVs, which by the way, what the heck is going on here? They're actually doing a lot of damage. I feel like with all those rails going down, these assault ships should have been able to clear this out, but actually the second base is just totally taken out. Well, and Garmulator and Sparrow, we don't have them. But a support cruiser does go down from, what's his face, from NoFun. Missile batteries are here. I think they did actually score a couple of kills. 2 it looks like. But yeah, support cruiser does go down, which is a little bit unfortunate. Greppy, yeah. Well, the thing is, I've seen Sparrow recently, but I haven't seen Greppy at all. Like, I haven't actually played a single game against him, I don't think. He showed up in Kara Cup 2, I want to say. Maybe it was 3. It was the one that we did the double elimination bracket, and it was just horrible, if you remember that. Which was fun to see. Oh yeah, did he do like some testing with you and stuff? That's cool. Who's that guy Mythic again? Tell me about him. Because he's the guy who's got some kind of like record for marine splitting or something in StarCraft 2, right? But I always forget like what the details about that are. Dang. Well, I bet it was Team Axiom, wasn't it? I'm just kidding. I'm not even sure if that's a meme, but I think it is, so I'm trying to use it. Coercer, sorry, NoFun wants to push in here, actually. The siege cruiser here just kind of out of position. But yeah, LED's gonna come around on the other side of the carry. You should be okay. Wait, I heard a missile battery fire. Oh yeah. Oh, he's got like 3 of them, doesn't he? I forgot about that. Yeah, Total Biscuit was an awesome guy. You know what I mean? He just I feel like he really understood like that the game industry should not be. It should not take its heritage from like slot machines and arcade games. It should take its heritage from things that are actually like legitimate businesses, you know what I mean? And I feel like so many consumers have just totally lost that view. No, who was it? This missile battery mortar is gonna be super good, by the way. Who's in control? I don't really know the StarCraft 2 scene at all, so... Not since the days of Husky have I really known what's been going on with it. Mortars have all been used here though, so we're having a little bit of damage coming down on these railguns. NoFun is still very much in control of the map though, I'm sure you can tell. He's got Sport Cruiser Anterior coming out too, which is nice to hold like the flanks from those interceptors. He's got 3 bases, opponent has been just kind of hammered down to 1, but he does have that siege cruiser, which is coming definitely in handy. Range upgrade would probably be nice. I think it upgrades it by like 20% or something, but he doesn't really have the money to invest into that just yet. Coercer's starting to build up a bank despite constant production. That's always a good sign for you too. Well, maybe that's not true. But anyway, yeah, I mean, he's definitely having a good time pushing out across the map here. His opponent definitely on the back foot, so this game's starting to go into his hands a little bit. Actually, it's fighter and gunship coming out for NoFun, which is interesting to see. We wouldn't usually see that when your Gaussian player's already got air. But the thing is, if he's got missile batteries with his army here, we can see some really nasty plays where the strike fighters can't really be countered by the interceptors, and so they kind of run a little bit rampant on the field. Range upgrade is on the way. It's going to be like 90 seconds though because of how long it is. And again, NoFun has a really good opportunity to kill the siege cruiser, but he's not going to take it. If you didn't know this, Strikecraft are actually a super good counter to siege because they do not have very good armor. And they don't have terribly much health either. They're like even more fragile than assault cruisers, you know what I mean? And so if you can just get in there with your Strikecraft, you can kill those things. Rails are up here actually starting to kind of hammer on this production cruiser. It's taking a lot of damage. reduced from vanilla to, oh wow, yeah, so definitely StarCraft are a good counter to Siege. So when you see your opponent's Siege kind of out in the open like that, you know, you go for it. Like that's a really good opportunity. Production Cruiser goes down. We're starting to see some kind of crippling damage here. And again, Coercer unable to push out from the second base there, and it looks like he is going to probably have to capitulate sooner or later. Double support cruiser coming out to support the army. I love that. Actually, he's going to move one out, have the carrier come out too. That's even better. And I gotta say, I think when NoFun started this game, he had a really good first attack. He didn't really bounce back to second as fast as he should have. And so the mid game was kind of even, but this is definitely showing he's got the skills to win it. He just didn't have the best strategy moving into the mid game. So. Oh, money barrage right there. Oof. That's a little unfortunate for NoFun. Ow. I think that killed like 4 rails or something. It's gonna kill a missile battery here. Oh, it's brutal. It just keeps happening. Ow. That's really painful. What a barrage. Strike fighters are out now, just kind of chilling out in the middle of the map. There's still a lot of interceptors, so they need to be a bit careful, but I like that A-game, I like that, because then you have time to react to it, but if you don't, you're going to be even more punished, right? Strike Fighter is going to be used to try to take out this Siege Cruiser. Actually loses one of them to Production Cruiser A, which is a little sad. Interceptor's not going to be launched here. I gotta say, that seems fair to me, because if they are launched, they're probably just going to die. Oh yeah, no, I mean, that barrage, I'm sure you could tell, was just like insanity, but... But NoFun's got the money to just keep making more railguns here. Definitely what he ought to do. Just drive his carrier, like he should just send his carrier in there. Send it, man, because he will take this fight here, especially if his carrier is out there. Oh, you know, the missile batteries are gone actually, so it looks like, oh, is that another Siege Cruiser just went down instant? So it looks like the interceptors are going to launch now against this army, thinking that there's no anti-air left, but there is actually. The support cruiser is going to be covering that nicely. Still, though, we have a missile battery coming out from NoFun. Gotta think that's a good idea. Wants to get some more anti-air on the field. No reason to not have enough anti-air and lose, you know, on that merit. Base runner are going to extract here as well. We have more railguns out. NoFun really can just win this game. I think he's definitely got the army here to take it, but we'll see if he chooses to or not. But I mean, if I see a carrier with that little health, I smell blood in the water, I would just go for it. Aren't railguns supposed to not auto-target salvagers in patch? I feel like they still do. Otherwise, this carrier might be dead already, to be honest. It's kind of mayhem up in the skies there, but the story is definitely that that Coercer is going down here. Carrier should die in just one more volley. There we go. And that is going to be the game. A little bit more long-winded than I would have expected. I think NoFun had a really nice opener, but like I said, he transitioned into 2-base quite slowly. You know what I mean? Anyway, we're going to move on now to Coercer's map pick, which is going to be Tauren Crater. Whoa! Sorry, just stretching. Woke up pretty early today, you know. Did anyone see in the replay tooltip what faction does he roll here? That could make a difference in this series. We know, of course, Tauren Crater, generally a good map to be random. It's going to be Galzian, it looks like. Because, you know, this is the kind of map where early aggression tends to be pretty effective, and your opponent may if he doesn't know, you know, what faction you are, he may not have the adequate response for it. So we'll see here. I'd like to have kind of a yeah, that's a good scanner right there. Early scanner out here for Coercer to excuse me, to scout the faction from his opponent as soon as possible. Although I've often said this, have I often said this? I've said this like once before, but I'll say it again. If you want to play 4D chess, the scanner should go here, because once you put it there, your opponent knows, if he's familiar with the map, that the range of the base runner does not allow it to deploy from its starting position. So you're giving away the information that you're not retiring it, actually. So whether or not you want to save the base runner, you should always have the scanner right there, because it's harder to tell then. It's a bit obfuscated, you know what I mean? But the information is going to be gleaned here by Coercer. He knows all about this. NoFun probably going to want to send his scanner right there or something, but we'll see what he ends up doing. Meanwhile, this Sand Skimmer is just going to try to deny the information, take it out. But he already knows what faction he is. That's a big advantage to him already. Probably going to be Refiner Mode first again from Coercer, which he can definitely get away with because he sees one PC up here. He doesn't see Assault Ships yet, so I mean, that's probably a good sign. Or rather, you know, the Sand Skimmers are too early for it to be Assault Ship first. It's an interesting scanner location. It doesn't really reveal much more, and I feel like it's a lot easier to kill, so I would actually put it there instead. Hold up, is NoFun still watching? Yes, he is. Excellent. Sandskimmer Armor 1 gonna come out from Coercer, so he's definitely expecting a Sandskimmer war, but yeah, I mean, he might get it. We don't see any more tech coming out from NoFun. I've had a lot of games against Rompa Frolic where we both just kind of agree to go with the arms race here and we tech up into more and more Sandskimmer armor, but I believe, after having played a lot of Galzy in early games, that it's usually not a good idea, because if your opponent chooses to go into a tech, the Sandskimmer suddenly becomes not very useful, and then you'll have some real difficulty. We have raiding coming out from Coercer now as well, and yeah, there is going to be a tech choice from NoFun, going to be Railfab. I think he could have gotten this earlier. If you're going to do one PC aggression, I think you need to be faster than this. I think I'll make one of these build order videos about this particular build pretty soon. But normally, if you sense your opponent going for Refiner Mode first build, or if he wants a Sandskimmer fight or something, and you're going to commit to the one PC attack, you don't want to get Fleet Cap 45. You need to get the tech first. And then there's this kind of awkward period where you always have like lesser numbers than they do, but if you can hold out during that period, and that's sometimes why you would get Armor 1 or something. If you can hold out during that period, then you should not focus fire that salvage. Okay, there we go. But he's going to lose the Sandskimmer for that. Ooh, that's a little messy. If you can hold out during that period, then you get the tech very early, and then you're able to do some serious damage to your opponent. But Refiner Mode comes out, actually, so NoFun is going to back away. He's not going to take this fight, which I think is wise. I think he's too slow to really do it reliably. Again, focus firing on the wrong units, though, on things that he can't kill, and that's going to cost him a lot with this Sandskimmer fight. He might stand to lose all of these, actually. This is really kind of, ooh. 2 RU openings, really a game. Just to, like, get the tech first? Is that just because, like, because with only Sandskimmers you're not going to get anything done against your opponent if he gets tech first? Is that the idea? Because it's true, like, when Coercer saw the production cruiser, the Sandskimmers were already out, which tells you it's probably not going to be Assault Ship first. But it still could be, you know what I mean? And that's a really, really powerful opener, especially in Vanilla, we've just recently discovered. In fact, the first tournament that was deployed would be Card Cup 11, I want to say. I could actually look this up. I'm going to do that real quick. Oh, my videos are ready to upload. Let's see, Card Cup 11. It's the one where Hottest Man Ever plays for the first time. No, he's not even in this one, so it must be like 9. Sorry, I'll just check the map here real quickly, though. We actually do have a second production cruiser coming out. Assault Railguns are out, so this is all actually looking very good for NoFun. And Coercer may be getting a little bit overzealous in his chase back here. He has gotten back to his opponent's base, but what he's going to find is that he can't really attack here. We have too much defense there, so that's not going to work. And his opponent has Refiner Mode and is getting a second production cruiser. He doesn't even have Refiner Mode done yet, let alone, like, it was barely on the queue. Although, whoa. It's actually not as bad as I thought, because he has a second production cruiser out, but still, NoFun is going to be ahead in this regard. Check the participants of this one here. Sorry, I really want to know. I think it's Kara Cup 8, actually. Was it really that long ago? I feel like the time must have flied. My English skills are getting better every day, man. Yeah, because game 1 he plays Tarn Armor and... No, YOLO Swaggins did. What the... No, that's... I'm looking at 4. Yeah, game 1 he plays Tarn Armor and beats him, and then he tells me, hey, he's a soul chip rushing. I'm like, oh, no problem, and then he beat me in game 2, yeah. So, this was back in Kara Cup 8, which was played, that was in January of this year, right? That's when the Soul Chip first build started really becoming like a big thing. Because Hottest Man ever played in his first tournament ever, and that took him... he might be. He plays a lot of League now, unfortunately, so... but we'll see. I always keep inviting him back. But yeah, I got Hottest Man ever to the quarterfinals where he played with me, and we went 2-1, so I did win, but it was pretty narrow. And so yeah, he just had this style where he would get one production cruiser into his soul chips first, and we had never really seen it before, or at least never seen it refined like that, and it took him like nearly to the semifinals, you know what I mean? And so that was like a really kind of meta-defining tournament, I think, one where we really did not expect that kind of play at all, and it turned out to be like very successful. So. Ever since then, Discara has kind of been toying with this idea of like playing Galzian with one production cruiser pushes and then following up very quickly with air and stuff like that. But only recently, Discara has like really refined his style, and now the games that he can do, like the things that he can do with one production cruiser to soul chip is just like really scary. So another just history lesson with Bozo Cow, you know. I hope you don't get too put off by that stuff, but I always find it interesting. We have interceptor fabrication coming up for NoFun. Yeah, that's the problem, is you can't really survive with 2PC. Like, when I first encountered, like, the Hottest Man ever build, Tarn Armor told me he was a soul chip rushing, so I knew, like, oh, okay, well, I just need to go, like, refiner mode first and then be ready for him, because I was expecting, like, or, sorry, go, like, I think what I did was I went 2PC into Rails or something, because I think what I was expecting was that he was going to do, like, the 2PC soul chip push or something, right? But that was not at all what happened, you know what I mean? So... Well, yeah, 1RU AS can survive because you're kind of doing the same thing, right? You're responding to his 1PC assault chip by using 1PC assault chip, yeah. This is gonna go through, by the way, this extraction. I think these assault railguns getting a little bit feisty here. You can see they're definitely still very hard to kill for Strikecraft, but they could have been taking out this base runner and been kind of with the Sandskimmer force, and they would have all been alive here. This is actually kind of a little bit of a throwaway by NoFun. And Coercer, by the way, gotta say, I am loving the Siege Cruiser commitment here, but NoFun is getting interceptors, which might be a little tricky to deal with. You need some kind of response to hold the base, though? Is he making, like, assault chips? No. I mean, he's got some. Yeah, you should send these down here, because this is gonna be important. Might deny natural. But for how long? Well, no, actually, no, if he denies natural, he'll deny it for a long time. You can get refinery mode, though, and push out with the carrier, but that seems like kind of a bad... No, you're totally right. When it's a soul chip versus a soul chip, because they're the same speed and the way that they work, it's just like very much, you know, like if you get the advantage, you usually are going to keep it. I saw those games where you were testing, like on that stream. Those were insane games, you know what I mean? But at the same time, very derivative, you know? They were insane, but also kind of like boring. Does that even make sense? But I enjoyed watching them. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, I can already see in there's some potential for, like, insane things. We've got 5 interceptors now. Well, I mean, 5th one being built for NoFun. So that could be a dead production cruiser. You never know. I think that's about how many railgun interceptors you need for it. Although, did I say railguns? But you need to get Afterburner probably to make that work. But he's got the money for it, so... I'd like to see him get that tech, and then just go in there, take out a production cruiser if he doesn't see any AA. We have Siege on the field already, but I wouldn't go for the Siege. There's 2. What? Oh, wow. That's actually... I thought that was a production cruiser. But yeah, I think Ints should definitely take out the production cruisers. If you can isolate one of them, just take it out. Then again, this spot right here, you're probably going to kill Salves and kill the Siege cruisers. That's probably good. Uh-oh. Okay, actually, this is going to be really good, isn't it? Have you ever wondered why siege cruisers have anti-air, by the way? Because I really don't know. Yeah, he's gonna stick around for a bit. Gotta watch out for that base runner though. His anti-air is actually pretty... to snipe probes. I know, it's so annoying. Although in a lot of ways, I guess that's actually really, really good in Siege versus Siege Wars, isn't it? Because if you're playing against like, or Siege versus Artillery, yeah. Because if your opponent can get vision on you, he can like do his barrages and stuff. Friendly fire. There is a little bit of it there. Well, not the best siege reveal. I think that's fair to say. One base loses 2 of its CU salvagers, and he loses 2 things as well, or he loses a siege cruiser. So pretty good air reveal by NoFun right there. Every time I'm casting, I always just get the names backwards. I know what they are, but I get them backwards. It's like I keep calling Maze here Shrike. I don't know why. I like instinctively micro when I'm watching replays, you know. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I am gonna have a my screen video for this tournament, by the way. This next one, Card Cup 13. The thing is, it's all gonna be in German, but I won't explain that. But yeah, I wasn't able to do it last time because my GPU was overheating. But this time, yeah, I've been recording my matches. I'll probably stream the next ones actually. Might as well, right? This is a lot of interceptors now. We got 7 of them. Still no afterburner though, and that's really a tech that could be paying huge dividends for NoFun right now. It's not as crazy as in vanilla, but it's still pretty darn good. Especially if you want to be fighting like production cruises and stuff. No, it doesn't impact my performance. My frame rate stays pretty much the same when I stream as it would if I didn't. Interceptor's just gonna go full YOLO on this production cruiser, but again, afterburner would be really nice here. Whoa! Look at the air micro! What a baller! But I think he's actually just gonna kind of throw the air units now. So I take it back. This is kind of pleb. So they basically trade all the air units for each other. Yeah. So basically, afterburner would have killed the production cruiser there, and probably also gotten the other interceptors. Like, best airstrike ever. Really? Yeah, I don't have really performance drop here. I get this kind of frames even when I'm doing 1v1s without streaming. This is an interesting fight here, but NoFun is kind of walking into a barrage a little bit. Taking quite a bit of damage on this rails, but I don't think it can be capitalized on, so that's probably okay for him. Definitely took out the middle ground there. There are no interceptors left for Coercer, right? They both kind of lost all of them. No, I definitely agree, A-Game. Like, one of my problems in Jaraci Cup 2 finals, I think, is that I don't have very good frames at all. So it starts hitting me during like game 2 or something. But yeah. Actually, I mentioned this at one point earlier. When you have like a siege cruiser, let's say, and you want a barrage, you like hit B and then you move the mouse and click here, and then it barrages there. You know, and that'll happen sometimes if you have bad frames. So, but still, no investment into afterburner. I think once you're planning on doing airstrikes onto bases, afterburner is kind of a must-have, in my opinion. Skimmers here really completely unchecked. They're able to come through and just sweep into the base. Of course, the army was kind of completely wiped right there. This is probably to do with the fact that NoFun just had a lot more eco in the early game. You got a bit more rec blocking going on here. I'm gonna just say every time you're doing this, you ought to like use the V-move command and then use hold ground. Just like rec blocking is seriously such a thing. That's one thing I've really picked up on by watching all these replays. But the main base is going to go down here too, although this guy became a guardian, which is kind of insane. In fact, he killed another, or maybe that was the Insta that did that. There's a lot of veterancy on a production cruiser there. But we have a guardian sand skimmer, which is cool too. Interceptors from Coercer surprisingly kind of unchecked at the moment. They're able to get some really good damage on these railguns here. This little flank here, counterattack by Coercer, is a great idea. Not sure if it'll work. They have equal armor, but NoFun has got the base runner heal, which ought to kind of carry him through this one, I think. He's also got the Sandscriber counts and the defender's advantage. Hold on, how did the Sandscribers get here? I feel like they should have stuck around and killed this production crew here. But there's only one left for Coercer, whereas NoFun still has all three. So even if the bases are equal, they aren't. And they aren't equal, so they're really not equal. Does that make sense? Artifact going to be denied here, I think. Although there's a possibility NoFun could just kind of throw all these Sandscribers. No, he is going to deny it. Although that was kind of a bit more losses than we would have liked to see. Units lost tab is actually pretty close there, but it looks like Coercer is going to go for a bit of a Rambo mode with that carrier. Don't think it'll work, but then again his opponent doesn't have any power reserves, and not nearly as many artifacts, so NoFun definitely needs to get more rails up once he realizes that this carrier is pushing out. But we see rails on the queue already, that's good. Thing is, he really doesn't have many RUs, I'm not sure where they've all gone. Probably into that air, because he rebuilt a lot of that army, so that's definitely kind of hurting him in this regard, but... and he'd like to get power reserves too, but I think he really just needs more rails than that, so probably just investing into rails is... Oh no, yeah, you need to be getting rails in this case. Although, to be fair, just like force gain or rails is probably going to be enough to deal with it. But you always want to be safe when it comes to, you know, potentially game-ending damage by like an opponent carrier. Especially when you've already won like this, you know? Because at this point, he's really kind of ahead so far that we could say he's pretty much won. 3 HP, I've never seen it so low. Production crews are going to go down here despite the best efforts of the defense force. Looks like the carriers come back. That buys NoFun plenty of time. Interceptor's just going to take out the scanner, which offended him. Whoa, 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 what? That must have been a missile, huh? Yeah, okay, because like I looked over and all these guys were suddenly at half health. That'll happen sometimes. The carriers doing splash damage can be really nasty. These interceptors definitely have afterburner, don't they? Yeah, they do. And you can see the difference that it makes there. I mean, they're just like wiping the field with these other interceptors. Despite really not having the numbers, like they can group up, they can get into position faster. Oh, wow, that was actually really close. Oh, man. Because if that artifact had gone through, yeah, it looks like Coercer going to surrender kind of in reaction to that. If that had gone through, I mean, he'd only be one artifact away from victory, and his carrier would be super powered up. But this huge railgun blob was probably going to be enough to handle things anyway, so... Yeah, and so it looks like NoFun will take it 2-0. But not quite as clean as I was expecting from him. Still, though, it will be enough. What say you, gentlemen? Shall we go ahead and cast the finals too? I think I've got time. Oh yeah, it's still only like 1:30. I've got plenty of time. Hold up, listen to the music there. Something is wrong with the music, can you tell? The drums are out of sync. They're always rushing. What the heck? Are you hearing that too, or am I just crazy? I feel like that's definitely happening right now. What? Wow. Well, I know that'll happen if you play the multiplayer map, 4-player Shallows. It's only on that map, though, I think.